Hello, today we're here with Ansha Deutsche Basargerecht. For other rentals, you won't need it anymore. We need a reference image so we can see how it's been done and continue the same process. For the rest, we'll see how to proceed, how to work with color without having a reference, or with the main contrast that we need to achieve. The first thing we need to do is bring in the raw footage, really keep it raw. And if it's not there, we do pre-processing, whether it's L2S, L2P, 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 or any other overlap processing. We adjust the contrast in the contrast layer, check the print, and the print should be between 896 and 128, but right now it's lower. The amount in the raw state is 128, so we need to open up these layers to be able to set the contrast correctly and get better colors. Here, I open up the 128 layers and adjust them, and in the next layers, I move on to the vector adjustments. I drag it down all the way, close to 0, so you can see that 0 is achieved in the next layer. I bring the shadow adjustment all the way to the end and keep it steady. I pull the light all the way up, and now a really good contrast has been created. In the next layer, I move into the primary section and then into the luma controls. Here, I carefully bring the shadow value back to 128, which creates a subtle white haze effect. I then return the highlight to around 196, restoring the brighter areas. In the next layer, the contrast adjustment is performed in this layer, enhancing the overall depth and separation between the light and dark areas. It happens. I open it up. We make all the contrast decisions here. In the next node, we work on the color. I'll readjust the color again. Here, with the vector scope, we can clearly see which color is the most dominant, and the blacks or the darkest areas are also visible. In the next layer, what do? It already has a really good base, but I want to add just a bit of green to enhance the overall look. In the primary wheels section, I can use the temperature control just a little bit, making a subtle adjustment to achieve the desired effect. We can use other methods as well, but for now I'll carefully adjust the gamma just a bit, add a subtle blue haze, slightly reduce the saturation, and then manually tweak it. That became clearer. I need to make sure the skin tone doesn't get messed up. For example, there's a bit of blue haze on it, which I need to fix. Let's move on to the next step. Again, I want to reduce the greenish blue tone and give the work a more cinematic feel. So what do? I create a mask for this part, give it a bit of softness, make sure it's completely selected, and then I leave it as is. Now at this stage, I carefully invert the mask, which allows me to mute the greens here in this particular area, and then I can add a subtle teal effect to the overall work. I make sure to keep its density consistent, then I adjust the saturation to the desired level, and after that I add some warmth again to enhance the look. In our mask, we can also increase the smoothness a bit more, just a little, and I can make it smaller if needed. This process helps to refine the image and achieve the exact visual effect I am aiming for. This next layer, I want to work on the character's face. The layer I can turn these into a beautiful teal green color and also adjust their saturation and hue to achieve the look I want. For the next layer, I go to the effects layer and select the beauty effect. So let's go. We need to make sure that this only affects the character itself and not anything else. I use the qualifier tool. In 3D mode, I want to specifically select the subject. Sometimes it doesn't select exactly what I want, so I'll mask the area I want to work on. Since the layer is separated, I can easily track it and do the work I need to do. If we don't use the vector scope, I notice there's a gap with the skin tone. I adjust the skin tone to bring it back to normal speed. In the layer, I also use the Alt+P shortcut. Then, in this layer, I have glow effects, and I adjust the glow, then make further adjustments. If we carefully pay attention to this particular part, then in the next layer, we need to remove this video. We need to remove it, as its continued presence could hinder our progress, so taking prompt action to ensure it is properly and completely taken out is important for moving forward. Once again, we just need to eliminate or get rid of the exact same thing as before. These edges have quite completely different characteristics. In the next layer, I adjust the amount of white for brightness. I stabilize the contrast. I blend the layers together. In the next layer, I start adjusting the main colors. Whether I want to make adjustments to this particular color, or if I want to go in this direction instead, I have the option to do so, depending on what I am aiming for. But I need to sit down and refine it before starting. I need to make sure I have both options available. In the background, I'm recording a video as well. Let's check it out together right now